Consider the bond of a cold climate, how it maketh man a slave, have shelter and food with fierce toil. Yet thereby he becomes strong against the elements, and his moral force waxeth, so that he is master of such men as live in lands of sun, where bodily needs are satisfied without struggle. Consider also him that willeth to excel in speed or in battle, how he denieth himself the food he craveth, and all pleasures natural to him, putting himself under the harsh order of a trainer, so by this bondage he hath at the last his will. Now then, the one by natural and the other by voluntary restriction have come each to greater liberty. This is also a general law of biology. For all development is structuralization, that is, elation and specialization, an originally indeterminate protoplasm, which latter may therefore be called free. In the definition of a pedant, there shall be no property, hearing that. There shall be no property, hearing that. There shall be no property, hearing that. There shall be no property in human flesh. Every man and every woman hath right indefeasible to give the body for the enjoyment of any other. The exercise of that right shall not be punished either by law or by custom. There shall be no penalty either by loss or curtailment of liberty, of rights, of wealth, or social esteem. But this freedom shall be respected of all, seeing that it is the right of the bodily will. For this same reason thou shalt cause full restriction and punishment of any who may seek to limit that freedom for the sake of his own profit or desire or ideal. Every man and every woman hath full right either to grant or to deny the body, as the will speaketh within. This being made custom, the evils of love, which are many, extending to the disturbance not only of body but of mind, and that in obscure parts, shall little by little disappear from the face of his unspeakable glory. There shall be no vanity. There shall be no vanity. There shall be no vanity. So that art the child of mine own bowels, how shall I write to thee concerning children? For herein is the Gordian knot in our whole rope of wisdom, and it may not be severed by sword, no, not of a greater than Alexander the two-horned. And it is a balance like that of the egg, and the violence of a Columbus will but crack the tender shell, which we must first of all preserve. Now sentinel to this fortress standeth a certain paradox of general application, and in this large order I will declare it, so that its particular sense may enlighten thy mind hereafter. And this is the paradox, that there are bonds which lead to slavery and bonds which lead to freedom. All we are bound in many fetters by environment, and it is for ourselves in great part to determine whether they shall enslave us or emancipate us. And I will make clear this thesis to thee by the way of illustration. Effort in thy way, yet it is the way of thy will. And I say not even that thou dost well to haste therein, for the whole matter lieth in thy will. And To force thyself against thy nature would be an obstacle to thy passage. But if I urge thee to run, well, this race as an athlete, it is because I have perceived in thy nature that fierce lust and mighty concentration in that will. And I write this letter unto thee, knowing well that thou wilt rejoice exceedingly therein, since it is an expression of thine own will, and it may be a discovery thereof, which thing thou vehemently seekest. I charge thee therefore that thou permit none to tyrannize any foot and thought, or to oppression, or in either wise to blaspheme and think liberty of our life and the sight of the great cosmos, or of his vicegerent. And in the little shall be no vanity in human life. There shall be no vanity in human life. There shall be no vanity in human life. There shall be no vanity. Consider the bond of a cold climate, how it maketh man a slave. He must have shelter and food with fierce toil. Yet thereby he becomes strong against the elements, and his moral force waxeth, so that he is master of such men as live in lands of sun, where bodily needs are satisfied without struggle. Consider also him that willeth to excel in speed or in battle, how he beneath himself the food he craveth, and all pleasures natural to him, putting himself under the harsh order of a trainer, so by this bondage he hath at the last his will. Now then, the one by natural, and the other by voluntary restriction have come each to greater liberty. This is also a general law of biology, for all development is structuralization. That is, a limitation and specialization of an originally indeterminate protoplasm, which latter may therefore be called free in the definition of a pedant. To give the body for the enjoyment of any other. The exercise of that right shall not be punished right by law or by custom. There shall be no penalty either by loss or retirement of liberty, of rights, of wealth, or of social esteem. But this freedom shall be respected of all, seeing that it is the right of the bodily will. For this same reason thou shalt cause full restriction and punishment of any who may seek to limit that freedom for the sake of his own profit or desire or ideal. Every man and every woman hath full right either to grant or to deny the body, as the will speaks God, the child of mine own bowels. How shall I write to thee concerning children? For herein is the Gordian knot in our whole rope of wisdom, and it may not be severed by sword. No, not of a greater Alexander the Two-Horned, and it is a balance like that of the egg, and the violence of a Columbus will but crack the tender shell, which we must first of all preserve. Now, sentinel to this fortress standeth a certain paradox of general application, and in this large order I will declare it.
The previous year is completely irrelevant. Now, you might call that gaslighting on your part. I'm not sure what your intention is.
You said we champion criminals, and I'm just saying,
a murderer.
Austin Metcalf was a criminal, was he not?
No. Well, now you change the topic. You're not championing Austin Metcalf. Nobody champions
Austin Metcalf's not a criminal. Hold on. Where did that come from?
I don't know. He's made it up. So the point is that there are rooms claiming that they should free Carmelo Anthony, championing the savage murderer who stabbed a boy in the heart and slaughtered him like a butcher, then threw the murder weapon away and tried to escape, and then confessed to the crime which he committed in front of 20 witnesses. And you want to free him? Oh, you think 35 years is too much? He could have gotten life. And you think there was some mistrial? Or they have to have a certain race on the jury? I mean, these are absurd claims.
Well, I mean, first of all, I do think it's up for. Well, first of all, let me respond to the original, which was about the Breonna Taylor case, right? So, when you serve
change the topic, let it yet again.
Well,
that's puzzling.
Again.
The original topic was you said I was gaslighting. What word did I say that was
Hold on, bro. Wait a minute. Hold on.
You want to change the topic?
I'm going to speak to it. I'm going to speak to it, and I'll speak to that.
Okay, you want to change the topic.
So
I don't blame you,
when you serve a no-knock warrant, you're supposed to have marked police vehicles on scene. You're supposed to have emergency response on the scene.
Okay.
You're supposed to, one, identify yourself before breaching the domicile.
So that its particular sense may enliven thy mind hereafter. And this is the paradox, that there are bonds which lead to slavery, and bonds which lead to freedom. Oh, we are bound in many fetters by environment, and it is for ourselves in great part to determine whether they shall enslave us or emancipate us. And I will make clear this thesis to thee by the way of illustration.
his vicegerent in the little.
Consider the bond of a cold cremate, how it maketh man a slave. He must have shelter and food with fierce toil, yet thereby he becomes strong against the elements, and his moral force waxeth, so that he is master of such men as live in lands of sun where bodily needs are satisfied without struggle. Consider also him that willeth to excel in speed or in battle, how he denieth himself the food he craveth, and all pleasures natural to him, putting himself under the harsh order of a trainer. So by this bondage he hath at the last his will. Now then, the one by natural, and the other by voluntary restriction have come each to greater liberty. This is also a general law of biology, for all development is structuralization. That is, a limitation and specialization of an originally indeterminate protoplasm, which latter may therefore be called free in the definition of a pedant. Thou shalt cause full restriction and punishment of any who may seek to limit that freedom for the sake of his own profit or desire or ideal. Every man and every woman hath full right either to grant or to deny the body as the will speaketh within. This being made custom, the evils of love, which are many, extending to the disturbance not only of body but of mind, and now in obscure paths shall little by little disappear from the face of his unspeakable glory. Though that art the child of mine in bowls, how shall I write to thee concerning children? For herein is the Gordian yoke in a whole rope of wisdom, and it may not be severed by sword, no, not of a greater than Alexander the two-horned, and it is a balance like that of the egg and the violence ever. Columbus will but crack the tender shell which we must first of all preserve. Now, sentinel to this fortress standeth a certain paradox of general application, and in this large order I will declare it, so that its particular sense may enlighten thy mind hereafter. And this is the paradox that there are bonds which led to slavery and bonds which led to freedom. All we are bound in many fetters by environment, and it is for ourselves in great part to determine whether they shall enslave us or emancipate us. And I will make clear this thesis to thee by the way of illustration. In human thought, let each think as he will concerning the universe, but let none seek to impose that thought upon another by any threat of penalty in this world or any other world. Look now, the lion kindle thee to effort in thy way. Thy will, and I say not even that thou dost well to haste therein, for the whole matter lieth in thy will, and to force thyself against thy nature would be an obstacle to thy passage. But if I urge thee to run well this race as an athlete, it is because I have perceived in thy nature that fierce lust and mighty concentration in that will, and I write this letter unto thee knowing well that thou wilt rejoice exceedingly therein.
It's a Canadian flag!
Expression of thine own will, and it may be a discovery thereof, which thing thou vehemently seekest. I charge thee therefore that thou permit none to tyrannize any other in thought, or to threaten, or in any other wise to blaspheme the great deity of our Father, the Son, in the great cosmos, or of his, the Sergeant. In the little. Consider the bond of a cold climate, how it maketh man a slave. He must have shelter and food with fierce toil, yet thereby he becometh strong against the elements, and his moral force waxeth, so that he is master of such men as live in lands of sun, where bodily needs are satisfied without struggle. Consider also him that willeth to excel in speed or in battle, how he denieth himself the food he craveth, and all pleasures natural to him, putting himself under the harsh order of a trainer, so by this bondage he hath, at the last, his will. Now then, the one by natural, and the other by voluntary restriction have come each to greater liberty. This is also a general law of biology, for all development is structuralization. That is, a limitation and specialization of an originally indeterminate protoplasm, which latter may therefore be called free. In the definition of a pedant. same reason thou shalt cause full restriction and punishment of any who may seek to limit that freedom for the sake of his own profit or desire or ideal. Every man and every woman hath full right either to grant or to deny the body. As the will speaketh within, this being made custom, the evils of love, which are many, extending to the disturbance not only of body but of mind, and that in obscure paths shall little by little disappear from the face of his unspeakable glory.
Consider the bond of a cold climate, how it maketh man a slave. He must have shelter and food with fierce toil.
Yet thereby he becomes strong against the elements, and his moral
Consider the bond of a cold climate, how it maketh man a slave. He must have shelter and food with fierce toil. Yet thereby he becomes strong against the elements, and his moral force waxeth, so that he is master of such men as live in lands of sun, where bodily needs are satisfied without struggle. Consider also him that willeth to excel in speed or in battle, how he denieth himself the food he craveth, and all pleasures natural to him, putting himself under the harsh order of a trainer, so by this bondage he hath at the last his will. Now then, the one by natural, and the other by voluntary restriction have come each to greater liberty. This is also a general law of biology. For all development is structuralization. That is, a limitation and specialization of an originally indeterminate protoplasm, which latter may therefore be called free in the definition of a pedant. To give the body for the enjoyment of any other. The exercise of that right shall not be punished either by law or by custom. There shall be no penalty either by loss, or time and no liberty of rights, of wealth, or of social esteem. But this freedom shall be respected of all, seeing that it is the right of the bodily.
Went in the hallway and shot the cops.
The courts recognize that people who are law-abiding citizens have more of an expectation of a robbery than people who are knowingly engaged in felony offenses. Drug dealers, right, know that there's a potential for law enforcement to be banging down their door with a search warrant.
But that's not
people
this guy,
when SWAT teams have the wrong address.
You missed the whole beginning of the conversation. The whole beginning of the conversation is that there's a group of black people and also white progressive liberals who say that in this situation, it was the intent of the police officers to fucking kill Breonna Taylor. And all they have to do is simply concede and say, hey, it was unfortunate. They were serving a warrant. Somebody shot at them. They returned fire, which is totally fucking endable. and it was unfortunate that she got fucking killed. That's what any normal human being would say. But when you have a strong bias and you want to argue for the situation and claim that, oh, well, they're not justified and blah, 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 it's like, no, just concede and say, yeah, it's unfortunate, it sucked, and it sucked that she fucking died. Like, my cousin was actually best friends with her. Like, but I argue with my cousin initially with this case because she was on the side of Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor's the only thing she did wrong was the company that she kept. It is unfortunate she was caught in the crossfire, and the decision making.
The boyfriend too. I mean, even if it's a criminal,
that motherfucker,
Manville. What you're saying, Manville, but here's the thing.
No, I think Manville thinks that the boyfriend was the target, and the boyfriend was not the target. The boyfriend was just a regular boyfriend guy.
That's regardless of the situation. My point is that even in this situation, the boyfriend, in his defense, if all he heard was the door being kicked in the middle of the night or in the morning,
he says his statement is there was banging on the door. That's his statement.
And that's fine. You or I are laying in bed and you hear banging on the door and shit, would go out and probably fucking shoot at somebody. And I understand that. And that's justified. I'm not even saying it's wrong that the fucking boyfriend shot the cops. I'm saying that it's unfortunate. But the black people and the fucking white liberals come up and say, no, it's not unfortunate. They intended to kill her. Because they did a no-knock warrant, they intended to fucking kill her. And it's like, no, like, he went out and defended his house, totally justified, but he shot at the fucking cops and didn't know it was the cops. And it's unfortunate the cops shot him.
So the warrant is for a person C.
No, it was a broader investigation. So there was multiple targets as far as addresses, and because she was affiliated with him, like in a past relationship, her house was targeted for the warrant. I guess there was some mail, or there was some exchange of narcotics.
It's like Iran when they bombed that
because
the school was targeted as a military
depot. No, you're wrong. No,
so there was something.
When they bombed the school of the little girls.
No, you're wrong.
That was the responsibility of the government up there.
No, we're not
to keep the students safe.
Peter, we're not disagreeing. We're saying that she was caught up in the warrant by association. That's why they were serving the warrant. It's unfortunate that it happened because she wasn't with the guy who was the fucking drug dealer.
You're wrong.
Hold on.
It was a previous boyfriend, but it was her apartment that was being targeted with other locations.
That's what it says. But the analogy doesn't hold because the Iranian school, right, because of the lack of information they had at that time, if they would have known it, they wouldn't have hit it.
I agree. That's what I was making the argument for, Samoa.
Yes, exactly. It is proven that
Samoa, I know what you meant earlier when you were trying to get the point across. You're on my side.
Too many fucking people.
I get that you're making my argument, but I don't want you on my side.
Just stop talking, bro. All you gotta do is just stop talking, bro. All right.
And lock the door.
Don't try to be on my side, even if you are.
All right, thank you. That's like the Breonna Taylor thing. They knew who she was, and they knew that was her address that they were targeting because they needed to put pressure on the actual target that they were hitting at the same time. So her ex-boyfriend's house was being hit at the same time. So they hit multiple houses at the same time. So they're collecting evidence that's connected to the one guy. No, we fucking don't.
Yeah, we agree, but I don't want you on my side because you're a dishonest
just shut up, bro. This guy's an idiot.
You never concede in any other fucking situation.
Bro, you're just not a smart person. You just talked to like the last 5 minutes.
Every other fucking thing that you've been wrong on, then I'll start saying, hey, yeah, we're on the same side.
Bro, you sound like an emotional woman.
Okay, whatever. You guys want to have your fucking lovers quarrel.
No, he sounds like an idiot.
Do it in another room. Jesus fucking Christ. Stop fucking starting shit. You're like Carmelo.
Bima up to kick you out, man.
Yeah, I don't think Carmelo started really anything, bro. I mean, he unfortunately he is for 35 years, right? So, do you think he'll get more time if there's a new trial?
Fuck yeah! When they come forward with this evidence that he said that he wanted to stab some girl he was having a beef with and lick the knife, when they put that into evidence,
that was his girlfriend. What do you mean?
So
he told his girlfriend that he wanted to stab another girl that he was having a beef with, and he wanted to lick the fucking knife.
Before we get off Brianna, who's local to Louisville?
I'm from Northern Kentucky.
Okay.
My cousins grew up in Louisville, in like southern Indiana, right across the border.
What the sergeant of the unit said on a podcast now that he's retired, was that there was an overall initiative from LMPD to target certain areas that city council members wanted to redevelop, and they were sent in there specifically to be extra proactive and extra aggressive in these certain parts of the zip code to enable their corrupt little building and rezoning that they wanted to do. So there were certain elements of these neighborhoods that they wanted to eradicate before like investing in this project, and that the orders from up on high to start this shit in the first place, to be as aggressive as they were being, was hidden and concealed from consideration when they were, the public is calling for charging all these guys that are trying to deal with this case. Ultimately, somebody ended up going to fucking prison over this, which is insane.
Yeah,
also.
the one that shot her.
But that individual, right, is taking rounds or seeing other officers take rounds at a structure he's serving a search warrant from.
That's
and
not
he's
true.
returning fire to stop that threat.
That shot, that is even thought to have shot Breonna Taylor. So you should look that up. That's not what happened.
Yeah, it's the
He's
police
the officer who was
that
firing
shooting
blindly
in the, he was
from
firing
the ground
recklessly.
floor into the apartments.
Yeah, but then there was.
Well, it was a ground floor apartment.
It was
apartment with
was it a ground floor apartment? That's so weird because I distinctly remember it being a ground floor apartment. That's insane.
No, he was shooting recklessly where the bullets went into other apartments. So that's what he was charged with. But
So the video I saw,
apartment.
the door is underneath the stairs on the ground floor. There's a sliding glass window or a large window facing the street. You have officers on the street-facing side of the building. You have officers inside of a cut to where the front door is. And the hallway where Breonna Taylor was in between her boyfriend and the officers faces the window that officer was behind and is perpendicular to the opening of the door. So you have to enter, turn left to look down that hallway and shoot at either Breonna Taylor or her boyfriend. He had a direct line from their fire towards his window.
no, but there was somebody else who was charged.
Anytime you're getting in gunfights in fucking apartments, those walls are paper thin, and you have that risk.
Yeah, but he didn't hit nobody. But I think there was somebody else that was charged with how they acquired the warrant. I think I remember reading that part. Like the two guys on the higher ups, not the guys who went out there and executed the warrant, but the guys who acquired the warrant. I think there was some problems there.
Yeah, I think there was. I think the warrants were not properly obtained.
But why is it, do you think these people, like Ty and others, can't at least just concede and say, hey, it fucking was terrible. It should, it sucks that she fucking died, but it was unfortunate, and it's just part of what fucking happened. But they just have to make it racial and fucking prejudiced-ic, and it has to be fucking specifically targeted. Like, well, we don't know the intent. It might have been, okay,
Don't you get it? If a bad
conceding one
outcome,
side,
I think
one side that says it definitively was not intentional. But when you open it up and you leave it open, that means you're also implying that it may have been. So if you're saying it may have been intentional, then prove how it could have been intentional. Like
when a bad outcome
went there with the intent thinking, I'm going to fucking shoot this fucking woman in the apartment. You could say they went there with the intent to serve a warrant and they knew that they might have to fucking open fire and that somebody might die, but you can't say there's intent to specifically kill her. And that was what Ty's argument was, by saying we don't know the intent, which leaves it open to the option that it was intentional, and there was no evidence that says that it was intentional to kill her. If anything, they were shooting at somebody who was shooting at them. So if anything, the intent was to kill him. You could at least say that, but the unwillingness to fucking concede and say, you know what, it's fucked up, it sucks, it really sucks that she died, and I'm willing to concede that. But just to fucking double and triple down is ridiculous.
The reason why they persist is because we reward it. Like that guy who shot through the door at the cops got money. he got a couple of $1 million. So we give people cash prizes for this kind of deranged, delusional, criminal thinking. So of course they're going to keep doing it. People respond to what you incentivize. This makes them into moral victims.
But Norman, it's just crazy that
them.
they would do it for a random stranger who clearly was just defending his fucking apartment, didn't probably even know that it was the cops, was just shooting at who he thought was intruders, which is totally understandable. And that by her dying was unfortunate. But then, like, other people like myself that are even willing to concede that if it was my father or my fucking mom who was shot in that situation, would be willing to concede that, and I'm fucking against the cops 90% of the time, especially bad cops. Like, I support good cops, but I would be willing to concede and say, you know what? The officers fucking shot at my dad who was shooting at them because my dad unfortunately thought it was an intruder because he didn't fucking hear them screaming fucking, warrant, police, blah, blah. And all he heard was the door being beat on, and he shot at them, and unfortunately they shot my mom. Like, that's what an honest interlocutor does. But a dishonest interlocutor, and someone who's extremely biased says, no. You don't know their intent. They may have been fucking intended to kill her. It's like, no, there's no fucking world. Maybe if the cop was like her ex-boyfriend, and he was like, I'm gonna get this bitch.
What about the fucking fire? Carmelo did not intend to kill that honky white.
Will, for this same reason thou shalt cause full restriction and punishment of any who may seek to limit that freedom for the sake of his own profit or desire or ideal. Every man and every woman hath full right either to grant or to deny the body, as the will speaketh within. This being made custom, the evils of love, which are many, extending to the disturbance not only of body but of mind, and that in obscure parts shall little by little disappear from the face of his unspeakable glory. Oh, that art the child of mine own bowels. How shall I write to thee concerning children? For herein is the Gordian knot in our whole rope of wisdom, and it may not be severed by sword. No, not of a greater Alexander the Two-Horned, and it is a balance like that of the egg. And the violence of a Columbus will but crack the tender shell, which we must first of all preserve. Now, sentinel to this fortress standeth a certain paradox of general application, and in this large order I will declare it, so that its particular sense may enlighten thy mind hereafter. And this is the paradox, that there are bonds which lead to slavery, and bonds which lead to freedom. Oh, we are bound in many fetters by environment, and it is for ourselves in great part to determine whether they shall enslave us or emancipate us. And I will make clear this thesis to thee by the way of illustration.
courage and know, son, that the true principle of self-control is liberty. For we are born into a world which is in bondage to jails. To them we are perforce prisoners. Each of us is Ebenezer to the bed of Procrust is each of us. As he groweth, learns repression of himself, and his true will it is a lie, this folly against self. These words are written in the book of the law, so therefore those passions in ourselves which we understand to be hindrances are nor art nor part of our true will, but diseased appetites manifest in us through false early training. Thus the tablets of savage tribes in such a matter as love constrain that true love which is born in us. And by this constraint come ills of body and mind. Either the force of repression carries it and creates neurosis and insanities, or the revolt against that force breaking forth with violence involves excesses and extravagances. All these things are disorders and against nature. Now then learn of me the testimony of history and literature as a great scroll of learning. But the vellum of the scroll is of man's skin, and its ink of his heart's blood. The fault that is fatality in love, as in every other form of will, is impurity. It is not the spontaneity thereof which worketh woe, but some repression in the environment. In the fable of Adam and Eve is this great lesson, taught by the masters of the Holy Kabbalah.
Because hearings on charges, those should be, the prosecution ought to be limited for the most part. Like, whatever they've collected at that point, that ought to be presented and on the table at the fucking probable cause hearing. It shouldn't be a, yeah, we've got it, it's 100%. Sure, yes, there's damage on the car, yes, and take our word for it. And then 6 to 12 to 3 years later, when somebody actually pushes something to trial, oh yeah, that was a bunch of horseshit, but we've had you in jail for the last 2.5 years and you're out of money. Because that's the system we have currently. So if you have the money, right? It's not hostage justice in the sense where they have to pay to get out. It's hostage justice in the sense that you're going to be so depleted that your ability to defend yourself by the time you get to trial is crap. And so, like, the best piece of advice I can give people, other than shut the fuck up and don't talk to the cops when you're being investigated, is to push for a speedy trial and not allow any of your defense attorneys to drag shit out. Because putting the screws to the prosecution to go ahead and get to the trial and get the trial done scares the shit out of them. They fuck a lot of shit up. A lot of shit gets thrown out.
Manville,
They're not prepared to do that.
I got a question for you, Manville. How do you view restorative justice and CRT in the legal industrial complex, especially with Democrat-elected judges? Is restorative justice killing innocent Americans? Hello?
I mean, it's just...
He's sort of doing performance art, to be fair.
Yeah, true. I mean, yeah, the more psychopathic murderers and robbers that you continue to give a second chance to is just an opportunity for them to victimize someone else. We don't rehabilitate people. Short prison sentences don't fix people. They just give people a shorter pipeline to reoffending.
That's the crazy part about what you're saying about warrants and how it's used. It's kind of like, hey, why would these people, these honest people, bend the law to their will? And then you kind of look at the FISA abuses with Crossfire Hurricane and all that stuff. You're like,
yeah, well, FISA court is pretty far from like local podunk mag court of like, hey, we think we got a drug dealer.
No, I mean like the nod, like within that domain that lawyers are given from judges because of like this ethical.
I hate to interrupt, Samo. Go take your fake lawyer skills to Nathan the Artist's room in Chillism, where you're the top lawyer, dog.
Hey, you don't have
Hello?
Like, a water run through? There's no wall that the cliff you can jump off of?
guys are literally trying to talk to a dude that sits in his own room by himself for 12 and 15 hours a day. And I'm dead serious about that. He be dead in his room by his talking to himself.
Hello? Resistance, you low IQ piece of trash. You dirty dog son of a bitch. I saw the video of you attacking that innocent person in the street. You're a heinous criminal. Attacking innocent people in the streets for political ideology, you sick human being. You foul-mouthed piece of human shit. Resistance, you hear me? Does anybody else smell this piece of shit? Oh my God, Resistance, go take a shower. You smell like shit. You disgusting human piece of garbage. You filthy piece of garbage. You piece of shit. Human excrement. Foul mouth, trash, low IQ garbage.
You ran to Israel when they accused you of touching that boy in Abraham High School. You're a coward.
Because you know you did it. You know you did it.
And you didn't save them.
And I know a lot of people in here don't know that about El Nasr.
Literally watch
Normal Green.
Normal Green.
I am much more resilient than you.
Save them.
What you said, Peter?
That's got to be a problem.
I didn't hear you, Peter.
Hey, Resistance, you dog. I'm much more resilient than you. Resistant than you. I promise you. Mullah is done. That Shafi is a piece of shit. Fuck the shit. Fuck that Shafi that you use on your name.
I don't even understand. You're gonna have to learn English.
He's telling you that you're a piece of shit. Is that more clear for you? Mierda.
Well, I'm not worried about what some dickhead fucking Persian that wipes shit on his face is saying about. Just like I'm not worried about what a dirty Jew from New York that sniffs coke and touches boys say. It would have made no sense to me.
Tú eres cabrón.
I'm a cabrón, but your wife left you for me. Your wife blew me.
There's nothing to blow.
Your wife blew me. She left you because you're a cokehead.
You don't have anything.
Everyone knows El Nasr.
This is what happens.
El Nasr. He sniffed the synthetic cocaine, the little 50,000 he said he sniffed it on, and his ugly ass left him.
Resistance, you are a stinky
and Manville dick sucker, you're a white supremacist piece of shit. Eat a dick.
Oh, that is sign of cow, dog. You use around your neck.
And Randy fucks little boys too, so you don't count. You fuck little boys. You're white. You're white. You're white.
Exactly.
That's all I have to say. White people like you are pieces of shit.
With that piece of shit.
You haven't had a woman your whole life. Peter, you're a piece of shit. Iranian. Fuck the Persians. You're gonna be under the boot of the fucking Ayatollah.
You are a stinky
piece of shit.
Resistance. You haven't had a woman your entire life. No woman would be with you. No one. Come on, man. You're unemployed.
But you had a nice boyfriend on Rikers Island.
Resistance, you are even a dog wouldn't fuck you, Resistance. Come on. Oh, is he gone now?
He's very popular on Rikers Island. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
He attacked a Christian Arab and thought he was a Jew, and he went to jail for it. It's public information.
Oh, really?
Yup.
The most Christian
Arab.
Is he a?
He's not even a good anti.
Is he in the nation or is he a Hebrew Israelite?
No, he's he converted to Islam.
So he's in the nation or he's just I didn't ask him that.
I'm known for beating the shit out of Israeli terrorist Jews, and El Nasr was scared because he knows I'll knock his teeth out his mouth too.
Allah for love were to them the eternal Eden, save for the repression, signified by the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Thus their nature of love was perfect. It was their fall from that innocence which drove them from the garden. In the love of Romeo and Juliet was no flaw, but family feud, which imported nothing to that love, was its bane. And the rashness and violence of their revolt against that repression slew them. In the pure outrush of natural love in Desdemona, for Othello was no flaw, but his love was marred by his consciousness of
his age and his race, of the prejudices of his fellows, and of his own experience of woman frailty. It is the dear Now, as literature wrote, with the murders of love, so also the history, and the lesson is ever the same. Thus the loves of Abelard and of Heloise were destroyed by the system of repression in which they chanced to move. Thus Beatrice was robbed of Dante by social artificialities, and Paula slain on account of things external. There's one of Francesca. Then per contra, Martin Luther, being a giant of will, and also the 8th Henry of England as a mighty king, bent them to overturn the whole world that they might have satisfaction of their love. And who shall follow them? For even now we find great churchmen, statesmen, princes, drama makers, and many lesser men, overwhelmed utterly and ruined by the conflict between their passions and the sorrow about them, wherein which party heirs is no matter of moment for our thought. But the existence of that war is evidence of wrong done to nature. Know, son, that the true principle of self-control is liberty, for we are born into a world which is in bondage to ideals. To them we are performed, even as his enemies to the bed of Procrustes. Each of us, as he groweth, learns repression of himself, and his true will, it is a lie, this folly against self. These words are written in the book of the law, so therefore those passions in ourselves which we understand to be hindrances are nor art nor part of our true will, but diseased appetites manifest in us through false holy training. Thus the tablets of savage